Think of all the soldiers that I served with.
That's a World War II veteran who's living in the suburbs, honored today by the French government.
Yeah, the recipient only 18 when he fought in World War II.
My name is Emil Hirsch. I was born in Chicago. At 18, I got my notice to report to Fort Sheridan. So in January of 1944, I reported to Fort Sheridan. Finally, we were put on a troop train, and the rumor was we were going to Los Angeles or somewhere in California, nice and sunny. So when we arrived at our destination, there was all snow on the ground. I got off and it turned out to be Indiantown Gap, Pennsylvania. On D-Day, we were actually in reserve, and we could get to Indiantown Gap, Pennsylvania, to the battlefield in about a week over the Atlantic Ocean, which was, of course, filled with German submarines. We were brought to Boston and got on a luxury liner of pre-World War and crossed the Atlantic Ocean and landed in Liverpool. And from Liverpool, crossed the English Channel, and we landed in Omaha Beach. But Omaha Beach had taken June 6th. And so it turned out that General Patton had taken Paris and had gone all the way to a city called Metz. And Metz was a traditional city for 2,000 years between Germany and France. And it was about 15 to 20 miles of roadway, but it was mountainous and hilly territory. Metz had been never taken by storm except 2,000 years before. We had to take Metz by storm. So my activity was to go from foxhole to foxhole, maybe carrying something, but to show activity. But you got to be careful you don't linger too long, because they had high-powered German snipers trying to kill you. All I had to do was hold, and so that it tried not to have them suspect that we were going to attack the next day. They did attack very early the next morning, and at that point, after they attacked, then I came back, and that's where I earned the Combat Infantryman's badge, and also the Bronze Star Medal. The anti-tank company stormed the forts, and what happened was we did take the forts at tremendous casualty. That night, we were withdrawn because we had to relieve troops for the Bulge. The Battle of the Bulge was going on. The Germans had launched it. So Patton had said that he could get in 24 hours, and we were part of the group, and I was part of the group that went to relieve Bastogne. When we got to the Bulge area, that the stench of death was everywhere. And everybody knows about the Bulge. I don't have to tell you about the Bulge. We were part of the Patton relief team to immediately be able to turn around in 24 hours and start sending, in our case, an anti-tank to stop any tanks coming. In the anti-tank company was assigned a small town, a river town called Tientsin in Holland, in the Netherlands. And so we were there, and I was on guard duty again at the front of our command center. And a young man rides up on a bicycle, comes up to me and says, are you Juden? Meaning, are you Jewish? I said, yes, I am. He said, could you come with me? He wants to show me. It turned out he was the leader of the Dutch underground. They saved 250 Jewish children. And you had 250 different Catholic families taking these children and getting them false papers. After all this, we were eventually assigned to the British Second Army. It so happened that as we were driving and we come to a huge complex, and the gates open, and out pour these skeletons, literally like Halloween skeletons, human beings. One of the skeletons, and he's talking to me, and it turns out it was a Russian prisoner of war camp. This was now in 1945. Germany had surrendered. My time on the battlefield was about 180 days, actually, on the battle line. And I was one of the fortunate ones who didn't get wounded. So I did get what was called trench foot, which was because you can't change your shoes or socks for days or weeks. Shortly thereafter, because we were down designated, we were experienced troop, a division, we were at full strength, and we were designated to lead the attack on Japan. Beginning of August, I reported back for duty and was assigned to a troop train to take us to Camp Shelby, Mississippi, which was to be the assembly point for the attack on Japan. And on the troop train, there was a newsboy there, and he had the big headlines. It was like maybe August 6th or whatever it was. Says, atom bomb dropped. We didn't know what an atom bomb was. But shortly after that, Japan surrendered.